representing Wisconsinites working HVAC, architectural metals, welding, specialty fabrication, and much more. Make great living wages with outstanding benefits, pensions, and apprenticeship programs in trained, safe working environments. The Sheet Metal Workers Union is a leading force in the revitalization of the labor movement in Wisconsin.
Looking up at the Marquette banners, brought to you by Saganiac Planning. Dwayne Wade's number 3 retired in 2007, 4 years after he played. Number 24 retired George Thompson said it before every Wade game. I wonder what he's going to do today. D-Wade, Microwade, Tidal Wade, never disappointed, which is why Thompson said to him after Wade's triple-double against Kentucky took Marquette to the Final Four, Dwayne, you're the best to ever play at Marquette for what you've done and what you will do. Number 3 will never be worn again. For your little ones and your biggest joys, for your forever true and your fur kids too. For all the reasons you smile, get covered with dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision. Support your overall health so you can be your best for those who matter to you most. Call John Saganiac Jr. John Saganiac Jr., Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just for you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamara. Here's Jen Latta.
Don't mind me, just thawing out over here. Said it was cold this morning. You know what Chewy said? You know what Chewy had the audacity to say? It's freezing here, too.
It is a little chilly.
How cold is it in Florida, sir?
Let me check right now. It is, as we speak, it's 51.
Oh, my God. Take those numbers and flip them, and you got the temperature here in Wisconsin this morning. It is 15.
Bust out the electric blanket, Chew.
Yeesh.
Gabe, could you
Make
golf in
yourself
51?
Of course
Gabe?
I can golf in 51. What are you, bleeping kidding me?
Obviously.
No.
I thought he was going to, could you golf in 15? Yes, at X Golf over with your friends at X Golf. Did you guys catch the game last night? Rams lose, eliminated from division title contention with a loss to the Falcons. We're watching the highlights here on Get Up. Matthew Stafford threw 3 interceptions. And the reason I bring it up this morning is because there seems to be a sentiment out there of like, if one of the top teams in the NFC can lose on Monday Night Football, and I guess this is technically week 17 because it's the last game of last week, and now we're entering week 18. Is the NFC more wide open than we think? Because go ahead, Chew.
I took it in another direction, Jen. Because last year, all we talked about was marquee wins, you know?
Yeah.
Again. And correct me if I'm wrong, Gabe. They have one win against double-digit team, a double-digit win team. One. Because I'm like, I mean, everyone wants to hang their hat on Detroit. At the time it was good.
Is it the Bears? Is it the win over the Bears?
Yes, over the Bears. That's it. One game they've won against a team with double-digit wins. So.
Yeah, but also they haven't played. I mean.
Well, I'm just saying, Gabe.
They also
just saying.
Played, I mean, you take a look at the teams that have double-digit wins. The Packers haven't played those teams. Right?
Yeah.
So, like, they haven't, they haven't played the Seahawks. Yes, they played the Eagles. So, what, they played the Bears twice, the Eagles, and the Broncos.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm just trying to figure out
And the Steelers could get to double-digit wins if they beat the Ravens on Sunday.
Was last year a better season than this year?
Are you talking about for the Packers specifically?
For the Packers specifically.
Was last year a better? Well, we know how it.
With more
I was going
wins.
to say we know how it ended last year, though.
There's a pretty good chance it's going to end the same way this year.
Maybe. But that's my point is when you look at the playoff picture, when you look at the teams in the postseason, you got San Fran, you got the Eagles, you got the Rams, you got the Seahawks, you got the Bears. None of those are a perfect team by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, God. I agree.
And again, I said yesterday on the show when we were talking about, reevaluating and maybe changing your expectations for the Packers because of the injuries. Look, I love when people say everyone has injuries this time of year. Yes, everyone's banged up. It's been a long season. It's a physical game. But it feels like the Packers' injury have come to very key positions, to very key players. It's not just like your third-string linebacker who's out for the year, right? You got your number one pass catcher. You got your top defensive player, et cetera, et cetera. You got Jordan Love with the concussion. You got, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. Josh Jacobs, et cetera. So that's where I have said I am going to temper my expectations for the Packers. But when I look around the NFC, Chew, I see teams that have flaws. I see teams that can be got, can be beaten, just like the Rams were last night.
All right, so let me see if I'm reading you correct here, Jen. You're saying all this because you believe that there's still a chance.
I believe that the NFC is not as strong as we think it is, and therefore, Matthew Stafford goes out and throws 3 picks last night, right? Loses the game to the Falcons. Could that happen in a playoff game as well? Of course it could.
But right? I'm taking it from the standpoint, Jen, this year could be worse than last year.
Because it feels more wide open and they blew an opportunity?
Yeah, correct. You nailed it right there. Feels worse. Because everyone's sitting here going, what do we do? Let's just say, all right, let's take 2 scenarios here. Let's say they get blown out by the Bears in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, that's going to feel bad.
What do they do, though? What do they do? Because, consequences have to have actions. What do they do? Roll it back?
Consequences.
Roll it back?
Okay, I got what you're saying. Because it's usually actions have consequences. But I sort of understand his theory as well, that consequences have to have actions.
Yes. Because everyone wants to blame, right? I mean, what if that happens? What if it happens? What if they go loss? What do you do? Gabe, your ed policy, what are you doing?
We just don't know ed policy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My guess, too, if they go loss, I don't know if LaFleur sticks around.
Okay.
I guess it probably depends upon how it looks, too, right? Like, if they lose on some sort of special teams gaffe in the postseason, you're able to fire Bisaccia, and I think everybody else is going to stick around. But it kind of depends upon how it looks. And again, it goes back to you can be bad, you can't be embarrassing. And they've had enough injuries where, you can kind of see where, Derrick Henry and Ricard having 2 monster backs running all over you, like that was embarrassing. Like you can't allow something like that to happen. And if you have a little bit more fight with the injuries, I think you can make a case for keeping everybody and going, hey, next year we just hope to be a little bit more healthier. And we try to add what we can around the draft to this defense. But they just they don't have enough wide bodies in the middle of that defense right now.
What throws the monkey wrench in the thing is LaFleur's contract. Because if you go loss, and you're deciding to keep him, I ain't paying you crap. I ain't paying you crap. I ain't paying you anything.
I mean, you're going to pay the going rate for head coaches if you want some sort of extension.
I ain't paying him.
All right, then fire him, Chew. Like, if you don't want to pay him, then you fire him.
That's the conundrum.
Well, no, that's not a conundrum. Like, that's the same thing for a player. Oh, I don't want to pay this player. You know what they do with that player? They release him.
So if he goes loss, you're going to pay him, Gabe?
I think it's a possibility. I think it's on the table. It depends upon how it looks. It depends upon how it looks.
Again, we'll go back to the ESPN analytic chances to win the NFC this season. Seahawks 24%, 49ers 20%, Rams 19%, Eagles 15%, Packers 11%, Bears 8%. They're not even mentioning, obviously, the Buccaneers and the Panthers, who are the other 2 teams in contention for that final spot in the NFC. Chewy, where the hell are you coming to us today from? A tanning bed? Have you looked
I know,
over
I look.
What is happening with what in the jaundice is happening over there?
This is Click. Remember Click where he changes? I love you.
With the
you
remote
love
control?
me.
The Adam Sandler remote control click?
Yeah, I wish. Thank you, Will. Are you still my buddy, Will?
Yeah, I think so. You tell me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the way you greeted.
I
Will
know,
this morning
I know. That
a
was
little
aggressive.
I think
for
that-
not
that
having
was.
your back.
That might have just been tough love.
No, it's a cold. And only cold. It was
The
cold, and I just walked
quote,
outside
unquote.
and
It's
answered the
51
phone,
degrees
and
in Florida.
I jumped Will.
This goes back to expectations, right? You expect it to be warmer in Florida.
Yeah.
When it's 51, you get frustrated. Packers fans expect the team to contend for Super Bowls. When they don't, they get frustrated and disappointed. Let's go back to the Rams losing last night to the Falcons, and does it affect your perception of the NFC? Gabe, when you look around the NFC and a team like the Rams, who have been top dog, top team, we had talked about Matthew Stafford being an MVP candidate, might still win it even after throwing 3 interceptions in Week 17. How do you see the NFC shaking out? Do you feel like it is there for the taking?
It's wide open. I just don't feel like it's there for the Packers taking. I don't think you can any given Sunday your way through an entire playoff. Like, yeah, maybe you win a game. Maybe you can win a second game. Maybe. Like, it would be a stretch to win that second game. But the way this team is just so beat up defensively, like, they've got their hands full to try to even figure out how to slow down the running game of the Chicago Bears. Because that has been fully exposed for everybody after what you put on tape. And if we think that they're going to not play some starters, like Week 18 is basically going to be thrown out. So the last thing you put on tape is a team running for 307 yards against you.
So, Gabe, if the Eagles win and the Bears lose, who would the Bears play then?
If the Eagles win, Bears lose, Bears would play the Rams.
Okay, so they would rather play Green Bay than the Rams.
I would assume so, yes.
Yeah.
Proof of concept and whatnot. 800-990-3776. The Rams lose last night. Kind of dramatic fashion as they tried to mount comeback after comeback, but Matthew Stafford throws 3 picks and they end up losing. And it got me wondering, is the NFC more wide open than we thought? There is no real juggernaut team in the NFC. And as the Packers continue to deal with injuries and try to get healthy down this stretch here, yes, they're locked into the 7 seed, but does that give you more hope that maybe, just maybe, they can make a run at this thing? Because there is no one team out there that's like the boogeyman. There is no one team out there where you're like, oh, we're scared of them. Unless you are, Gabe.
But they're all but right now they're all better than you. They're all better than you.
But I think they're better than you because of the injuries. Is
yeah.
Micah Parsons coming back?
No, he's not.
But that's the problem.
And neither is Tucker Kraft.
Yeah,
and neither
so
are some of
if
these
they're better
other
than you because of the injuries
players.
I mean, sure, maybe that gives you hope for 26 in terms of 25, but they're all better than you right now. They all have, except for the Panthers, they all have double-digit wins. The teams that you are going to be playing are all going to have double-digit wins, and if the Packers just punt on this game, you're going in at 9-8-1. That's... Again, they're all better than you. You're going to be underdogs. You're going to be an underdog in any game that you play.
I mean, the feeling in the locker room has to be, hey, we're not good enough to win it. I don't care. Because players are human. And I went through years. Like in 93 when we're playing Detroit, you think we're sitting in the locker room going, oh, yeah, we got a chance to win the Super Bowl. Nope. I can tell you that.
You knew you could go in, maybe beat Detroit. And then you run up.
Yep.
I mean, again,
and
that's
then
a little
Dallas,
different.
good luck.
I mean, Dallas is a lot better than any of these teams. The Cowboys from the 90s. But
94 was kind of the same. Well, 94 is when we stopped Barry Sanders to -1 yard.
-1,
right?
Correct.
And then we lost to Dallas again.
Yep.
Yeah, you ain't winning it that year. And then 95 was San Francisco.
So you beat Atlanta, beat San Francisco, lost in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah. That one was probably a little closer to maybe. I think maybe we can. Got to get past Dallas. And then it totally changes in 96 where we're like, we're winning this damn thing.
I mean,
and the same in 97. And then you go to 98 where it's the T.O. catch in the end zone. Even though we were a veteran team, went to the last 2 Super Bowls, we're like, man, I don't know if we have enough. Because that's the year Minnesota just dominated us twice.
Yeah, with Randy Moss.
So, I mean, that's what players think.
If you beat the Bears, which I think is still in the realm of possibility. I mean, they played 2 weeks ago. You were just as beat up then. That game went to overtime, and the Bears needed a miracle to get it to overtime. I feel like that's where the ceiling caps. Because whether San Francisco or Seattle wins, going to those places is going to be tough. Especially if you haven't figured out your rushing defense. Because the Bears, in the Saturday night game a couple of weeks ago, the Bears were running the ball pretty well, but they decided to throw the ball for whatever reason with Caleb Williams probably more than they should have. The one thing I do know about the San Francisco 49ers, they got no problem. If they're running the football and they're running it well, Kyle Shanahan has proven over and over again he's got no problem throwing the ball 10 times in a football game. Mm-hmm. So if you can't figure out your run defense, whether that's, again, Matt LaFleur saying it's the run fits or being lined up in the right spots, if you can't figure that out, like there is a team like San Francisco that can expose that. Same thing with Seattle. They got no problem. They got 2 talented running backs. They got no problem running the football. So you got to figure out how you're going to stop the run if you again, the NFC's wide open. The NFC's wide open, yes. But if you can't stop the run, it's...
Why do they win? San Francisco. They got no Ayuk. They got rid of him. I don't even know. Who's their top receiver?
Top receiver is Juwan Jennings.
I mean, their rosters, is their roster pretty similar to the Packers? And it's like, why do they win? Why do they win?
I mean, Christian McCaffrey's still one of the best offensive players in the league. I mean, he's got over 2,000 yards from scrimmage this year, rushing, receiving. He's their leading receiver. He's their leading rusher. Kyle Shanahan's really good at using Christian McCaffrey.
I'm going to throw something out there at you guys before we get to Jason Wilde this morning on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Hear me out. It's a bit of a conspiracy theory. It's a little tinfoil hat, but hear me out. You think there's any chance that the Green Bay Packers looked around at the walking wounded and thought, let's just get out of this game healthy against the Ravens? Let's just not have any more guys. Now, it didn't work because you had 2 guys leave the game in the middle of the game. But I wonder if mentally they were thinking, we just got to get out of this game as healthy as possible. And that contributed to the half-assed performance you saw, Chewy, from the defense. Because they saw Derrick Henry rumbling, stumbling all over the field. And they go, you know what? I'm going to make a business decision here and move out of the way.
The only reason I say no, Jen, is because the Bears lost to San Fran. And if the Packers beat the Ravens, then it's for the division.
Yeah. The
Detroit beats Chicago, and the Packers beat Minnesota, and they're NFC champs, and then they would be the 4th seed?
They would be the 3. The 4. The 3. Yeah, the 4
That's the only reason I say no.
It's just very suspicious that it was so bad. Like, it's very suspicious that the defense played so bad against the run. Like, their worst performance of the year for a game, as you said, Chew, when the division was on the line, when there was an opportunity to snatch the division. Well, I don't know.
But if you're out there, like, you don't want to be embarrassed. Turns out, Chewy, you can back me up if I'm wrong here.
What's worse?
Players have egos.
Oh, yeah.
And I think every ego of that is hurt, as proven by only 3 of them showing up to do media because they didn't want to talk about it. They were embarrassed.
They should be.
They were embarrassed because of that performance. And if you weren't putting up your best effort, then you wouldn't be embarrassed. But they were. They did put up their best effort, and they were embarrassed.
Just saying, there is a chance that people were like, you know what I'd like to do? Get out of this game healthy, not be knocked out of this game. Therefore, Derrick Henry, go ahead.
But that's how you get hurt, is by not playing 100% in the
That's why this game is going to be like, I mean, think about it. You're playing for nothing. You got to go to Minnesota. I mean, talk about flat. This is the opportunity to come out flatter than flat.
Well, and that's the curious thing, again, is who you're going to play. Because if you're not going to sit Jordan, Malik's more banged up than Jordan is because he has a shoulder injury.
An actual shoulder injury.
Assuming that Jordan gets cleared from the protocol, he's relatively healthy. Then you've got Malik dealing with a real shoulder injury on his throwing arm. So we're going to go Clayton Tune? And if you're starting Clayton Tune, then there's no...
There's a part of me that doesn't think Jordan's going to play.
Well, if Jordan doesn't play, I don't think Malik plays. And if you go with Clayton Tune, Homer and Tao should just start the postgame show right at kickoff at noon.
A little white flag action is what Gabe is saying. If Clayton Tune is your starting quarterback, it's a white flag. We got to get to Jason Wilde, 800-990-3776. The Rams lose last night to the Falcons. Does that change your perspective of the NFC as the Packers enter the playoffs after their game this weekend against the Vikings? Let us know, 800-990-3776. That, of course, is the Carbless Talk and text line. Liss is more. Jason Wilde coming up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Starting off with westbound 94, looking good out of the Marquette all the way into Waukesha County. We do have one broken down vehicle just about at Barker Road, so not too bad. It's not in traffic. We've got another one on the Rock Freeway northbound at about Layton. That's off on the right shoulder. But other than that, everything's rolling along just fine. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, clouds increasing, snow later on with a high of 28. Tonight, snow flurries, a low of 22. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
On this show, it's always football season.
So now Jeff Hafley's going to have to get more creative. Everybody will have to bow up and do things. And the main guy is Jordan Love.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
This went from a defensive-led team to now Jordan Love. Put him on your back. You're going to have to get the cape out.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
It's Jason Wilde from Wilde & Tausch. Upgrade your industrial supply services with Lakeland Supply, your trusted ISO-certified partner for custom packaging, shipping supplies, janitorial, and safety supply solutions. With over 40 years of industry excellence, Lakeland Supply is a proven one-stop source with over 95% of their products made in the U.S., and they treat their customers like family. Personalized service with a national reach. That's what Lakeland Supply does. Visit lakelandsupply.com to discover how they can make your business better.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank. Tri-City National Bank offers a full suite of personal and business banking products at more than 25 convenient locations. Open your account today at the community bank that's Milwaukee's best bank. Learn more at tcnb.com.
The Packers dropped their third straight game, falling to the Baltimore Ravens at Lambeau Field on Saturday night. Despite 3 touchdowns from Malik Willis, Green Bay's defense couldn't slow down a Ravens rushing attack that piled up 307 yards on the ground. Here's head coach Matt LaFleur after the game.
Humbling night. Give Baltimore a ton of credit. They came in here and were in complete control of the whole game. And unfortunately, it wasn't up to our standard in regards to how we played, how we coached, and that's what happened.
The Packers look to bounce back in their regular season finale on the road in Minnesota against the Vikings.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank.
Family's bigger? Out of space? We can help you find a new place. Just make Tri-City your first call. We are here to help, loan large or small. Tri-City National Bank, equal housing lender, NMLS 433891.
The holiday season is here, and the countdown to 2026 has begun at Lake Lawn Resort. With all the holiday stress happening these days, imagine waking up next to a cozy fire in your own private suite along the shoreline of Delavan Lake. Enjoy much-deserved pampering at the award-winning Caladora Spa and special holiday dining options throughout the resort all month long, including at the signature 1878 on the lake. Book your holiday escape today, and don't forget to purchase those last-minute gift cards and receive free bonus money at Lake Lawn Resort, where the spirit of the season comes to life and everything is truly better at the lake.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
And guess who didn't hit the hole? Zeke Elliott.
Ashton.
Well, I mean, yes. You all right back there?
That's so true.
It was a direct shot. She took out the sniper rifle and just...
No, she got right up to me, took out a Glock, and just shot.
Yeah, right in the balls.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Ready, down, put.
All Packers, all the time.
He was a field-tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Jason Wilde is brought to you by Lakeland Supply. Lakeland Supply is in business to make your business better. Set up a free packaging and supply chain assessment at lakelandsupply.com. Exterior Pros. Ready to tackle your home improvement project? Exterior Pros and Baths is giving $3,000 off roofing, siding, windows, or bath remodels this month. Visit extpros.com. Also brought to you by Century Foods. Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
good to get the insight from Jason Wilde up at 12:65. Good morning, Jason. How you doing today?
How are you?
Hello, hello.
Jason? Got to reconnect with him again, I guess.
You want to reconnect with Jason? Okay. As we do that, I wanted to ask you guys, as today is the last day that we are getting together for the 2025 year, about the top Wisconsin sports stories from this past year.
What are you chuckling about over there?
I wish I had a heads up. It's going to take me about 4 days to think of one.
No.
Wisconsin, hideous.
Yeah, top doesn't have to be best.
Okay.
So Wisconsin, hideous. Anything else?
Packers, disappointing.
Okay, that's fair.
The Bucks, disappointing.
Also fair.
What else?
I would say like
Brewers.
Dave Miller.
Brewers are they're the shiny star in the sky.
Yeah, franchise win record in 2025.
Yeah. Okay, we got there. It just took a little while.
Okay, Jason Wilde, we were just teeing up to on the top Wisconsin sports stories of 2025. What jumps to mind for you, Jason?
The Brewers, and probably nothing else is close, right? I mean, the word association game was pretty good there. Disappointing. Reusing that, would have liked to have another synonym for disappointing, so you would have had a different answer on one of those.
Yeah, I like the idea of Badgers having an identity crisis. I think I'm going with that as far as a top Wisconsin sports story from 2025.
I mean, is it a crisis or?
It's a crisis.
I mean, is it? We kind of know what it is.
But it's crisis.
It's bad. But they have an identity. This is bad.
If you have a bad identity and you want to improve your identity, you might be in crisis mode, as you try to dig your way out of it. So we'll do that this morning here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy as well. Jason, last we heard from Matt LaFleur, nothing has been decided when it comes to how they will attack Week 18 against the Vikings. Yesterday, we talked to Rob Domofsky. He doesn't think Jordan Love will play the entire game. He said maybe a series or two if he plays at all. Do you agree with that assessment of how the Packers handle the quarterback position Week 18, assuming Jordan Love is cleared from the concussion protocol?
Yeah, I'm always leery of agreeing with Rob Domofsky, obviously. It's kind of a base setting for me, but I think he's probably right. Look, do you want Jordan Love to have left the game in Chicago on December 20th in the second quarter with the concussion and not have played at all between then and your playoff game? Probably not, right? You're talking, what would that be, 22 days-ish, depending on when you play your playoff game? So, I think that makes sense. Now, I don't know. From what I understand with this quarterback controversy that's brewing, I just think they should play Clayton Tune because both those guys way too valuable to be risking in a meaningless game.
Jason, can we use excuses as the reason for a disappointing season?
Injuries.
Sorry.
You don't need to apologize. You need to apologize for not realizing that I was being facetious on the...
I knew it. I heard it. I was like sarcasm, but nobody else did, so we just rolled.
I just heard crickets. But hey, not all jokes are going to land. I get it. Look, I don't know if injuries are an excuse. I think they're just a reality, right? Like, we had that conversation a couple weeks ago about how you guys thought that you'd lost Reggie for the season in '95, and I talked to Sean Jones after we had that conversation on the show, and I need to talk to Leroy about it too because I want to do that story before the playoff game because they still haven't figured it out defensively, right? You guys got Reggie back because either he was miraculously healed, or according to Sean Jones, I love Reggie, but he didn't have the highest pain tolerance. So I think he was questioning the seriousness of the injury, which you may have been as well. My point is that there's no doubt that when you lose your best player on each side of the ball, that affects how good your team is. And it's great that the 49ers have managed all their injury problems this year as well as they have. How'd they do last year with all their injury problems? Like sometimes you're able to overcome, sometimes you're not. And last year, what were they? 5-12? Like they had a really hard go of it. The Detroit Lions last year. I mean, I still think they're the Super Bowl team if they're not devastated by injuries. Now the Packers, they had a bunch of injuries, obviously, in the game on Saturday night, and I feel terrible for Kamal Hadden. I feel terrible for Jordan Riley. But losing Kamal Hadden and losing Jordan Riley isn't the same as losing Tucker Kraft. And, not only did they lose Micah Parsons, but you look at their run defense, and I don't think anybody's going to confuse Devontae Wyatt with Gilbert Brown, but that factors in to them not being able to stop the run. Now, to me, the bigger concern about how they played on Saturday night was the fact that LaFleur told us that there were assignment and alignment mistakes. And as Bill Huber from Sports Illustrated asked, how the hell does that happen in Week 17? Mm-hmm. And nobody seemed to really have a good answer for that. So that's why I think this whole, what do you do on Sunday in Minnesota is such a difficult question. Because, yes, you don't want to risk anything. And it does feel like over the years, when LaFleur has faced this decision, no matter what decision he made, it turned out to be the wrong one, right? Like there was the game in Detroit where they played Bakhtiari briefly, right? Mm-hmm. And they played like their starters until halftime or something like that, and Bakhtiari ends up not being able to come back the next week in a playoff game. So, last year they play their guys, and what happens? They lose Christian Watson to an ACL tear. It just feels like it's a no-win situation, and all you can do is cross your fingers and hope that nothing bad happens, and you're not too rusty when you play in the playoffs, and you don't suffer a catastrophic injury when you choose to play guys.
So, Jason, if that ends up being the issue, and they lose, they decide not to play anybody, they lose against Minnesota, and right now Vegas is assuming that that's going to be the case. They're 5.5-point underdogs. And then they lose to Chicago or they lose to Philadelphia again, and their season ends on a 5-game winning streak.
Losing streak,
excuse me. How hot?
You're in trouble when choose
correcting him.
Well, he's on top of the losing stuff. Just he's on top of the negative stuff today because he's cold at 51 degrees. But is everybody gone? Like, if you end at a 5-game losing streak, and look, the injuries are one thing, but this last week was embarrassing, Jason. And it's the old Homer adage of, yeah, okay, there are excuses for being bad, but you can't be embarrassing. And if they slide that bad and the Bears run for a bunch of yardage again, is LaFleur gone? Is Goody right there with him? That's the thing I'm trying to figure out. Is it seems like everybody's talking about LaFleur, but only having one Pro Bowler in Micah Parsons. I mean, there should be questions, I think, surrounding Goody as well, no?
And then let me add just one more level, Jason. If you don't fire him, how in the hell do you give them an extension?
Yeah, a couple things. First of all valid points by both of you. Second, I don't freaking know, man. Yeah. Stop asking me.
Now, that was funny.
Here's the problem. Thank you. Here's the problem, and I don't know if Rob said this to you guys or not, but none of us knows. None of us have any idea what Ed Policy is thinking. All we have to go on, and hand up, I will admit, I have made this reference too. His dad fired Bill Walsh.
Yep.
So if his dad is influential in how he views that role, and he fired one of the greatest coaches to ever do it, the father of the West Coast offense and everything else, if his dad was willing to fire Bill Walsh, you have to think that Ed Policy, if he's a chip off the old block, is willing to fire anybody. Now, the only thing I will say is, first of all, I don't think either one of them should be fired. I understand embarrassing. I think you make a fair point. At the same time, I didn't think their offense was embarrassing.
Fair.
Are we going to fire Jeff Hafley for their defense being embarrassing? Do we throw the defensive coordinator out with the bathwater for one game? Because, well, I don't know, my understanding was that he's going to become a head coach after the season. So I understand it's been bad. I also look at the way they lost these games. Let me play Ed Policy for a minute because everyone wants me to play him.
Thank you.
I look at
Thank
Denver.
you for finally agreeing to play along.
You know, I got to spend 3 more hours with you. You just pipe down over there, all right? And by the way, thank you for your service. I probably shouldn't say it that way because otherwise it'd be me and Jesse. So let's just take each loss, right? You have Denver, where I'm sorry, these guys are human beings. They're not cyborgs. And they see Christian Watson get hurt, and then they see Micah Parsons tear his ACL. And they lost by 8. They had 2 possessions where they could have tied the game. And I think they were just flat out devastated because they're thinking Christian Watson left in an ambulance. Like they're thinking that their number 1 wide receiver and the guy that I would argue was their MVP, even more than Jordan Love, who was rightfully in the MVP discussion for the league, I would say he still wasn't the most valuable player on his team. And so they see those guys leave. I'm not surprised they can't muster a rally because, quite frankly, they played pretty damn well before that stuff happened against a team that had won 10 in a row at that time. So there's that loss. Chicago, we all know what happened there. Like they were dominating that game. Yes, the offense was not putting up the numbers that the 49ers just did on that defense, but again, weather conditions, all the other stuff, like it was 16-6. Like they should, yes, they peed down their leg. Criticism deserved. But it's not like they were terrible in that game, especially defensively. And then obviously there's nothing good that came out of defensively getting run for 307 yards by a Ravens team that not only now managed to put themselves in position to win and they're in, but Derrick Henry ran like a very angry dude, right? Who didn't play at the end of a game against New England the previous week. They caught the brunt of that. And yes, they deserve all kinds of criticism for not being able to slow him down. But it wasn't as if this was DeMond Parker or Basil Mitchell who took him for 218. It's a Hall of Fame guy. So, again, and now if that's the way Ed Policy chooses to look at it, I think there's arguments to it. And if they lose on Sunday in a game that means nothing from a playoff perspective, I don't know how that computes into the equation. I don't think either one of them should be fired, but I think both of them deserve to be critiqued harshly. And the fact that Brian Gutekunst, because everybody says, well, he got the quarterback right and he traded for Micah Parsons. Your job is not predicated on getting 2 things right. I don't. He seems, from the fan base, from the sports commentary space of our shows and everyone else, he seems to escape criticism all the time. And I just don't understand it. And that includes the guy that I do a show with every day. Because he is, I'll say this, and this is what I love about Tausch, like when he starts to have evidence that maybe his opinion might have been right at the time but no longer is, he doesn't just, stick his flag in the hill and say, I'm not moving, I'm not budging. Like, look at their draft classes. Look at who he's chosen to pay. Look at the fact that maybe being the youngest team in the league every year, while smart from a financial perspective and from a guys will listen perspective, can also be perilous in terms of maybe there's an immaturity that they either don't know how to handle success or aren't consistent or get complacent. I mean, again, the fact that their defense was as crappy as it was, I'm sorry, I don't understand how that happens.
But, Jason, I think I think it's fair to add. You look at New England, who was crap. Now they're really good. You look at Indianapolis, who was trending, were crap. They were trending in the right direction before Daniel Jones got hurt. You look at Denver, who was crap. What Sean Payton has done with them. You look at Seattle, who was crap, and what Mike McDonald has done with them. So there's Ben Johnson, who were crap, and now look at the Bears. It's just I'm sick of spinning wheels here. That seems like what we've been doing. We're just spinning wheels. Hey, things will be better next year. And it's just, if you pick the right guy, Evan Cohen in Jacksonville, crap. Turn them around. I'm so tired of spinning wheels, and I think there's a portion of the fan base that are with me.
Will, can you clip that?
Do you want us to
just clip that? I want to use it later on Wilde and Tausch when Evan Cohen joins the show.
It's Liam, but great job, Shu. You're right about everything else.
I was close.
Except his name.
That's just my point, Jason. You know.
I want to congratulate Evan when I talk to him later about his success in Jacksonville.
Boy, if the Packers fire Matt LaFleur and hire Evan Cohen, my job's going to be impossible.
At least we'll have access to have the head coach join us on a weekly basis.
That's
Jason.
true.
That's true. Fair point. Yeah, I think all those statements are true. Again, a couple weeks ago, they had won 4 in a row. We're talking about their quarterback being probably third in the MVP voting, right?
Yes.
Behind Stafford and Drake May. We're talking about they're playing Enter Sandman at the end of the game for Micah Parsons, who, other than Myles Garrett, is the best defensive player in the league. Their offense, and I know these sound like excuses, their offense finally, if you want to criticize Matt LaFleur for something, the criticism should have been it took until the Pittsburgh game and afterward when he was asked if you could run your offense and run your passing game through a tight end, and he says we'd be crazy not to. And then what did he get hurt in the early third quarter the following week against Carolina? Like, I'm sorry. If Ed Policy calls me after I hang up with you guys, I'm like, look, man, I would do some sort of half measure of a year or two extension because I don't think you can look at this team and wherever it's going to end up and believe that that's where they would have been if those two guys are healthy. Like, again, these aren't just role players, and I don't mean to downplay other injuries. I don't think Devontae Wyatt is a field-tilting player. So if the argument was, well, they lost Devontae Wyatt and Elton Jenkins, no, I'm not using that as an explanation for any sort of cratering that occurs. But when it's Micah Parsons, who your own general manager believed was worth giving up 2 first-round picks and a 3-time Pro Bowl guy that might have helped, by the way, on Saturday night. And I'm not saying they shouldn't have made the trade. I am 1,000,000% in agreement that they did a bold thing. But that trade was not made to just win this season. And if you clean house, and I understand the argument of, well, you could end up with a lot worse is not a convincing argument. But you are not guaranteed of getting the hire right. And there are plenty of teams that thought they hired the right guy, and then you get 3 or 4 years later, and you're like, oh, my God, what have we done? So be careful what you wish for. And again, I understand there's lots of fans that are listening right now. I'm sure they're in the YouTube comments. I'm not saying Matt LaFleur is the second coming of Vince Lombardi, but I don't think he's nearly as bad of a coach as some of the fans that I hear from are convinced that he is. So I don't know how things are going to play out. I believe they're going to go down to Chicago and beat the Bears in a playoff game. And this conversation will cease to be a problem. But if they don't do that,
mentioned, Jason, then you got the number 1 seed following that. So can this team, any given Sunday, its way through the playoffs? That remains to be seen.
Fair.
Jason, we got to let you go. I really appreciate the insight this morning. Always great to chat with you. We'll talk to you again very soon.
All right, everybody, take care. Be good.
That's Jason Wilde. You can hear him on Wilde and Tausch right after Jen, Gabe, and Chewy each and every weekday morning here on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. We got to take a break. We'll roll on right after this. Stick around.
Boost culture with captivating corporate events like appreciation parties, brand activations, and more. Creative team at Events by Design, they truly enjoy the work that they do. Maybe you've been to an Events by Design event and you don't even realize it. Maybe you've been to the night market. Maybe you went to the holiday market that was outside Fiserv Forum back in November. They had a hand in that. They had a hand in our event, too, with the ESPN Milwaukee Golf Outing when they were playing walk-up songs on the 14th hole. They implement fresh ideas in every detail from planning to production, so retain top talent by investing in your culture today. Just search online. Events by Design. They design. You party.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Still looking pretty good out on the roads. We have a little bit of a tight squeeze on westbound 94 heading through the stadium to Mitchell Boulevard, eastbound between, I'd say, 70th Street and Hawley Road. Very small little pocket there. The earlier issue that we had, the disabled vehicle at the end of the Moreland Road on-ramp to 94 eastbound, still there. Tow trucks hooking it up. Should be out of there soon, but it's right before you merge onto the main line, so that's something to keep in mind. Just be careful. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast today, increasing clouds. Snow later on with a high of 28. Tonight, snow flurries with a low of 22. Weather is brought to you by Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more. Easy and affordable apparel personalization with no minimums and fast turnaround. For all your printing needs, bigfrog.com/Mequon. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Kick off the new year with a smarter home and bigger savings with Exterior Pros and Baths. New windows to lock in the warmth, durable roofing, eye-catching siding, or a stunning bath makeover. Start the year off right and get $3,000 off your project. That's right, $3,000 back in your pocket during our New Year Savings event. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. This deal won't last all winter. Exterior Pros and Baths. New year, new home, done right.
Hey sports fans, looking to level up your next private event? V Private Bar Services is your game changer. Move beyond the ordinary. V Private Bar Services crafts custom cocktails tailored to your brand and your guests' tastes. Imagine a bar experience that's as unique as your business. Our expert mixologists will create a memorable experience that your clients and team will rave about. From signature cocktails to full-service bars, we've got you covered. Be the MVP of your next event. Visit vprivatebar.com to book today.
We love the Packers. We bleed green and gold. And every time our team takes the field, well, it's pure football bliss. If only there was a way to experience that blissful winning feeling every day. At Associated Bank, we've got you. With 10% off Lambeau concessions and 15% off Pro Shop merch. All when you get Packers checking from Associated Bank. It's how Packers fans keep winning on game day and every day. Associated Bank. Bank of the Packers. Learn more at associatedbank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
It pretty much hurt doing anything. I couldn't ride a bicycle. You don't have your life because you don't have your mobility.
So when Patrick heard about QC Kinetics and their non-invasive regenerative treatments for pain, no waiting, he called them immediately.
There's no downtime. There's no rehab. That was the tipping point for me. I didn't have to take any drugs. I didn't have to rehab.
Before considering surgery, check out QC Kinetics' all-natural treatment options that restore and repair damaged joint tissue in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back.
If you have knee replacement surgery, and then the knee is not yours, and there's no guarantee that that's going to be successful.
QC Kinetics. Patients around the country are raving about the results. They're getting back their mobility, taking back their lives with no downtime, no drugs, and no surgery. Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298.
Can you feel it? It's the thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating 3. Yeah, you know the feeling. And there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration. Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space with dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxe seating, great food, fiery atmosphere, and a monster video wall. Become a legend at Potawatomi Sportsbook. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I have told you how many times.
know.
Do not mess
Yes.
with electricity, Chew.
And I don't.
I did. I did. But I don't.
Incident?
There was one.
Plumbing, you're going to get wet. Electricity, you're going to die.
On 94.5 ESPN.
The 1-1 pitch popped into center field and playable. Moving back into his left on the track is Lockridge. He's there. He makes the catch. Can you count to 14? It's a franchise record for the Milwaukee Brewers. The longest winning streak in the history of the ball club. In 11 thrilling innings tonight, they get it done 6-5.
There were wins, there were fireworks, there were burgers. One of the most defining Wisconsin sports stories of 2025 obviously belongs to your Milwaukee Brewers as we recap the 2025 year on this December 30th. They didn't just win, guys. As we mentioned, they set a franchise record for wins, the best regular season this organization has ever seen. And they did it in a year, guys, that started with heartbreak. Of course, we all recall that about 1 year ago, the Brewers lost Bob Uecker, the voice of summer, the soul of the franchise. His passing left a void that went far beyond the booth. But what followed was an inspired, meaningful season by a group of young guys, homegrown guys that didn't have a lot of flash, but definitely had resilience, leaning into their youth, leaning into their depth, their identity, carrying their team through a long season, and of course, giving people, delivering the great state of Wisconsin a summer to remember, Gabe.
Yeah, I mean, it was as fun of a Brewers regular season as I can remember. The postseason, finally getting over that hump, winning a postseason series for the first time since 2017, despite getting there all those times. And I think the fun part, looking back on it for me, was probably Miz debuting against the Cardinals and how that started. Yeah, there were some rough patches in between, but then also how it ended for Miz and how he tied a franchise record with 9 strikeouts in a postseason game, just riding that roller coaster with him. It was as fun of a Brewers season as I can remember.
Yeah, and I remember saying this before the Packers season even started. The front office I trust the most in this state is the Brewers. I trust them again this year. You know, obviously baseball's a little different because you can run into a buzzsaw and it's just tough at the end of the season. You got to have some luck and you got to be healthy, but man, I just trust them. I trust it, even though it's unfair.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I mean, what the Dodgers spend in payroll? 300-something million?
No.
And the Brewers spent this?
Yeah.
You know? And to tie it back to the Packers, just because I'm so angry.
Are you stealing your boy's nickname?
And predictable.
Do you trust next year going in the first 6 games without Micah Parsons, no first-round draft pick, no money to go and get a free agent, rolling this defense back out on the field for the first 6 games of the year? You feel good? Feel good?
So
with the let's roll it back? I don't. And I'll give you an example here, okay? Because Jason's talking about the Micah Parsons injury, which was devastating. The Los Angeles Rams, who had the best defensive player in the league, and Aaron Donald retires 2 years ago at an early age, and what are the Rams now? One of the best defenses in the league. That's what I want. I don't want to put it all on one guy to stay healthy for the entire year. I want like the Rams, where a guy loses, okay, we're still pretty damn good.
Well,
San Francisco, whose roster is pretty much the exact same as Green Bay, and they win. They win.
It took them 2 years to get to that defense after he retired. Like last year, the Rams defense was not very good.
Yeah, but now they're money in the bank.
Yeah, so before we just, completely poo-poo the Packers for 2026, just wait and see what they do in the offseason.
But I'm just saying, Gabe, there's no money. There's no money, and then you don't have a first-round draft pick for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
And
so okay, we can go back to the Brewers. I just wanted to get that off my chest.
But you know who the best player for the Rams is, right? On the defensive side.
Yeah, the guy they just drafted last year.
Yeah, it was Jared Verse. So it was a draft pick, and now he's a couple of years in, and he's still able to. He's a Pro Bowler back-to-back years. Like, yeah, that's how you have to build these things back up. And the Packers are going to. They're going to have a little bit more money, assuming they move on from some of the people we assume they move on from.
But also, doesn't it mean that Brian Gutekunst is going to have to, if he still is around, go out and make a splash in free agency? If you don't have those draft picks, you got to go out and you got to try to find. It's not going to be Micah Parsons. It's not going to be somebody of that caliber, of that ilk. But there are going to be and you can't miss on them like you did this year, with Nate Hobbs. With what's the name of the offensive line? I always forget. I always want to say Aaron Glenn. Every time.
I mean, he's also struggling this season, so I guess not a good year for Aaron's overall in the NFL.
Rodgers.
Yeah, just Aaron's just struggling this year.
All right, we got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Keep getting us your top, most defining sports stories of 2025 as we wrap up the year 2025. No Jen, Gabe, and Chewy tomorrow for New Year's Eve. So this is your final chance to get your most defining sports stories in Wisconsin in 2025 on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. When I need to get somewhere on time and in style, I use Accutrans Group. They're my trusted ride during ESPN responsibilities all fall long, and they're our preferred transportation for Green Bay game day here at Good Karma Brands. We rely on them for our partners because we know that Accutrans Group will handle everything from corporate travel and conventions to private events and tailgates. Cannot say enough good things about this group. They learn your preferences, they're always on time, and they make booking simple. Veteran owned, 24/7. First-class experience every single time. What more could you want? If you have a corporate event, if you got a concert, if you got a wedding, you name it, they will get you there in style. Go to their website, AccuTransGroup.com. That's AccuTransGroup.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN. With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
Nobody should be writing the season off. The idea of being one of the top teams without two of your best players is a big reach. But this is a season that you can find ways to do it.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
You think anybody ever feels sorry for the Green Bay Packers? They don't. And they shouldn't. And you shouldn't.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN. ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
This is Kevin Moret from Mentality. Every day is a silent competition, and with testosterone dropping 1% annually, you're fighting an uphill battle. Your colleagues notice when you lose your edge, your partner senses when your confidence wavers, and without addressing low T, you're set up to fail. No willpower can overcome this hormonal deficit. Mentality's FDA-approved treatments have shown a 30% increase in testosterone levels. Don't let low T define you. Reclaim your power at mentalityhealth.com/radio. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
The holiday season is here, and the countdown to 2026 has begun at Lake Lawn Resort. With all the holiday stress happening these days, imagine waking up next to a cozy fire in your own private suite along the shoreline of Delavan Lake. Enjoy much-deserved pampering at the award-winning Calidora Spa and special holiday dining options throughout the resort all month long, including at the signature 1878 on the lake. Book your holiday escape today, and don't forget to purchase those last-minute gift cards and receive free bonus money at Lake Lawn Resort, where the spirit of the season comes to life and everything is truly better at the lake.
This holiday season, imagine a home that feels safer, cozier, and truly yours. Hey, I'm Brad Nortman, and I know how much it means when your home finally works the way you've always hoped. Lifetime Home Services helps families create that comfort, from cleaner air and radon safety to organized closets and smart home automation. It's all about making your home feel better every day. Mention this ad during your consultation for 10% off. Plus, earn credits towards future home projects with our end of the year special. Start creating a home that feels good to live in at lifetimehomeservices.com.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right, and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything, from the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Looking up at the Marquette banners, brought to you by Saganiac Planning. Number 20, Maurice Lucas, retired in 2006. Lucas at Marquette only 2 years, but he was so good. 74 NCAA championship game against NC State, 40 minutes, 21 points, 13 rebounds. In the semi-win over Kansas, 18 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Also, that game-winning shot in a win over Wisconsin that created the legendary post-game photo of the father of 2 Badger players very upset with Al McGuire. For your fellow fanatics and your number 1 fans, for your game day compatriots and your personal cheerleaders, for all the reasons you smile, get covered with dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision. Support your overall health so you can be your best for those who matter to you most. Call Eric Pearson. Eric Pearson, Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Yes, that would have been much worse than what ended up happening.
Finally got the which would be worse and what would be better. Finally, we figured it out.
You can't just be showing your junk on national TV.
It would have got a lot of clicks.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Something exciting is happening at St. Kate, the Arts Hotel. On the second floor, you'll find the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, Milwaukee's destination for bold flavors, fresh sushi, seasonal entrees, and cocktails crafted with care. Start your day with breakfast, stop in for dinner that sparks conversation, linger late into the evening with drinks designed to inspire. They've got flavors and drinks for every mood, so the studio is the perfect place to gather, celebrate, and connect. Be boldly social. The Studio Kitchen and Cocktails is now on the second floor at St. Kate, the Arts Hotel. So Micah Parsons had successful ACL surgery. I guess great. I guess it's better than the alternative, which would be unsuccessful ACL surgery. But now the clock starts, right? The timer starts. And can he make a remarkable recovery, i.e. Christian Watson, and get back to action earlier than anticipated for next year? I guess that's what Packers fans are hoping for, Chew.
Yeah, it's a little tougher with bigger guys, obviously, because of their frames. And, you know, it took a little bit of time for Christian Watson in the season to come up to speed to where I think he's now. He's playing like he did before he got hurt. The question will be, you know, Micah relies so much on stop and start and cut. And, like, that's what makes him such an unbelievable player. And I don't know, I'm just preparing myself for the Rashan Gary excuse, which I don't think we'll have, because that whole year after Gary's ACL injury, it was like, well, he had ACL injury.
Oh, but he was good early.
ACL.
That was the weird part about Gary.
Yeah.
He was good early, but kind of like this season, just disappeared on the back half coming off the ACL.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a huge concern in 2026 is how his rehab goes. If they're set, you know what, and you can throw Tucker Kraft into the same category. How long will it take him to get up to speed as well?
I mean, Christian Watson got up to speed right away, Chew. He had 4 catches for 85 yards in his first game. So he was up to speed pretty quickly once he actually got on the field. For Tucker, I would expect Tucker, just when it happened, to be ready to go week 1. Mm-hmm. Micah, or, you know, late September, early October, I think is the expectation.
Yeah.
Which would be great. Speaking of Christian Watson, I saw a tweet yesterday, guys, that said if the Packers sit their starters in Week 18, Christian Watson, so he doesn't play, that's the assumption here, will finish 9 receiving yards and 1 touchdown catch short of his single-season career highs. That's coming off a torn ACL that limited him to just 10 games. One of the best possible outcomes for him individually, just a great season. I don't know that we have talked enough about just how remarkable what Christian Watson did this year. And yes, some of it is scheme. Some of it is Matt LaFleur using Christian Watson in ways other than the way that we used him initially, which, as we have mentioned, is the go route, the go down the field, outrun everybody, and just get open for a jump ball. But were you surprised to hear that Christian Watson, even if he doesn't play this weekend, Gabe, is very, very close to his single-season career highs?
No, because and I've said it before, he is the one receiver out of that group that has shown growth this year. And I know it's a little unfair to Jaden Reed because he spent most of it hurt with the shoulder injury that he suffered in week 2. But Christian Watson, we've been waiting for somebody in that group to emerge and show growth, and that's what he's done. It took him a while, but, when you're coming from the level in which he was, where he was just bigger and faster than everybody, he's learned how to use his body. He's learned how to use that speed better. The hands have been better. There have been a couple of drops, but there have been a couple of really tough contested catches that he's been able to bring down. Like, Christian is the one guy who has stepped up in this receiver group and grown. And
let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. Did he make a mistake signing that $13 million deal?
He could probably get more. Mm-hmm. But also, I think, Chewy, just when you're coming back, knowing that you don't have to come back and do this, that may have contributed to, him being able to be a little bit more relaxed, knowing that he's got that big-time money, but $13 million is a lot of money.
No, I know, but what do you think he would have got? 20? A multi-deal 20?
He would have got multi-years, I'm guessing, incentive-laden, because, again, as good as he's been, he's averaging 61 yards a game, which would put him just over 1,000 yards in a season. Yeah. My guess is he probably could have gotten a multi-year around 15 with, again, incentives that maybe can kick it up. Mm-hmm. But you'd have a multi-year, more guaranteed money.
And the Packers, you think, are okay paying this guy, right? You got a guy who gives you top production. You're willing to give him top dollar?
Yeah, and they might tear it up next year in the middle of the season and give him, if he continues to progress like he does. You never know. Quick question for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
What is cocktail attire?
You got a lot of questions this week. Have you realized that? Like in the 3 hours we've been on the air.
What is cocktail attire?
Fancy. Not black tie, but fancy, right? Ladies wear cocktail dresses.
Yeah, but you can get away with no tie, Chew.
Just a bit of jacket.
I ain't wearing a coat. I don't even have a coat.
No, we know you have a coat.
Oh, yeah, we do. You know what? We could close out 2025 by telling the suit story.
Suddenly his connection broke?
I think he unplugged it out of rage there.
I can't hear him. Did he really unplug?
Yeah.
He's like a mime.
Voguing over here. We'll take a break on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, see if we can get Chewy back for the second hour of the show right after this.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Still looking pretty good out on the roads. We have a little bit of a tight squeeze on westbound 94 heading through the stadium to Mitchell Boulevard, eastbound between, I'd say, 70th Street and Hawley Road. Very small little pocket there. The earlier issue that we had, the disabled vehicle at the end of the Moreland Road on-ramp to 94 eastbound, still there. Tow trucks hooking it up. Should be out of there soon, but it's right before you merge onto the main line, so that's something to keep in mind. Just be careful. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast today, increasing clouds, snow later on with a high of 28. Tonight, snow flurries with a low of 22. Weather is brought to you by Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more. Easy and affordable apparel personalization with no minimums and fast turnaround. For all your printing needs, bigfrog.com/Mequon. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Big ideas deserve a big story and the right audience. At Saturn Lounge, we bring your marketing to life with branding, websites, digital marketing, and video storytelling that stands out from the crowd. Whether it's a TV spot, a campaign, or content built to connect, Saturn Lounge is where strategy meets creativity. From the first spark of an idea to the final cut, we're here to make your message shine across every platform. Ready to make your marketing a success? Step into the spotlight with Saturn Lounge, your launchpad for bigger, better marketing. To tell the world your story, visit SaturnLounge.com today.
Hey, I'm Reba McEntire. In life, you'll hear a lot of people tell you that you can do anything you want. I'm here to tell you that's true. Since I was a little girl, I dreamed of becoming a successful singer and entertainer. It took a lot of hard work, dedication, and perseverance to find my success, but it was worth it. I never gave up on my dreams. Remember, you can never have a dream come true until you've had a dream. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Bruston Nortman every day from 2 to 5, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamara. Here's Jen Latta.
us your top Wisconsin sports stories of 2025. Yes, I've had several people weigh in on the carbless talking text line. Are we not going to talk about Micah Parsons? The Micah trade, Ben says. Yes, Micah Parsons was certainly a top story of 2025. In fact, I would argue that no matter what you thought of the Green Bay Packers going into the season, prior to the Micah Parsons trade, the Micah Parsons trade made you believe that this was a Super Bowl caliber team. And all he did week in and week out was further validate that belief. Now, the players around him, Gabe, I think you could have a different opinion of. I think you could say, well, they didn't always answer the call. They didn't always answer the bell. But Micah Parsons, every single week, came to play, made his presence known, and made the Packers a better team. And that's why his acquisition is absolutely a top story of 2025 in Wisconsin.
Well, again, it's the shock value of getting one of the best defensive players, like, oh, he actually was available. And then, honestly, getting him for the low trade price that you did, because Sauce Gardner went for a very similar price at the trade deadline this year. And you got Micah Parsons, who, no offense to Sauce Gardner, Micah Parsons a lot better. I'd rather have Micah Parsons. And yes, you're willing to pay him top dollar because he does make everyone around him better. It's the one position on defense that can make everybody else around them better. If he's able to get after the quarterback, draw attention from the offensive line, thus making life easier for his fellow defensive linemen, getting to the quarterback as quickly as he does, making things easier for the back end, drawing all that attention to the outside, making things easier on the inside linebackers if it happens to be a run, for them to be able to take on and shed blockers. It's the one position on defense that makes everybody around them better, which is why you're willing to pay that top dollar.
Yeah, and that's what concerns you moving forward here in the playoffs. Because the corners now have to cover more because there's just no pressure.
Yep.
You know?
Or if they do get pressure, Chew, they're going to have to be on an island in man-to-man because they've got to bring extra guys. And they're just not going to be able to get consistent pressure with four.
Yeah. No, that was a huge bright spot. And that's why I think Grudy gets some street cred for that because, like you said, they got him for really a deal. You know?
I mean, that's more on Jerry being an idiot.
Yeah, that's true.
But he took advantage of the idiocy. Which, again, there's credit for that.
Yeah, you got to know who the idiots are and how you can take advantage of them. Going out and getting Micah Parsons, obviously one of the most emotional and defining moments in Wisconsin sports in 2025, one of the most feared defenders in all of football. And, guys, I love the message that it sent to the league, that we're not waiting around. There's an urgency here. We are willing to go out in free agency and not just add to the roster, but go out and get one of the best players available. It energized the state. It energized the sport. It energized the franchise. It energized the fan base. And look, you can make the argument of whether or not it worked out. Injuries are fluky. Injuries happen. But it marked a clear shift for Brian Gutekunst in saying, I recognize that this could be a Super Bowl caliber team, and if I add this piece, it gets us that much closer to doing so. I remember when it happened, obviously, as we all do, and how we thought, oh, Goody with the cojones, Goody with the big you-know-what's out there showing the rest of the league that he's not messing around. And I still think that should carry some weight when we talk about job security for the GM.
But if he gets, again, I would attach Goody and LaFleur to the hip. If you want to fire one, you fire both. If you want to keep one, you keep both. I just attach these guys at the hip. Because if Goody gets a pass for Micah being hurt, then so should LaFleur.
Did anyone, you know how I have my formula on how to win a Super Bowl, your A's got to play like A's, B's like A's. Taking away Tucker Kraft, who was trending to be an A player, and obviously Micah Parsons, an A player, did anyone else overachieve?
Christian,
okay. I mean, Josh Jacob regressed. I mean, McKinney's numbers regressed. Quay, who's the other linebacker? Edgerrin Cooper regressed. Quay was about the same as last year.
Yeah, probably in that same category, yeah. He's fine. I don't know if I'm paying top dollar for it, though.
And as we're talking about players and the trajectory and up and down, and obviously growth is not linear, how do we feel about Matthew Golden's first year? Unfinished, incomplete, but yeah, I was really...
They didn't develop him.
I know there was an injury that hit in the middle of the season, so it wasn't available. Had to recover from that. But I just thought that they would use him more. The fact that you spent all that capital to go out and get a guy in the first round, I really thought he would be more of an impact player. I really thought he was going to spark. And it just felt like they were still gently easing him into the offense.
Yeah, I'm disappointed with the way that they used him. Obviously, I mean, the opportunities for him seem limited. But I mean, he's probably what a C if you're giving him a grade.
Hold on, let me ask you guys. Does it question how good he can be? You think that? Because let's not forget. I mean, we had an example of that in Musgrave, the gush in training camp, which Golden got, and then eventually Musgrave just turned into a guy. Do you have any concerns about Golden just being a guy?
I want to see play out because again, we've seen a lot of players come in not do well their first year or
Devontae is always the great example of that, right?
Yeah, but we've seen that for a lot of receivers come in not be at their best, and for again, the opportunities were limited. When Romeo's not here next year, I'm curious to see what the opportunities for Matthew Golden are going to be. That's what I'm curious. When he gets more opportunities, and the quarterback did say a couple of weeks ago that Matthew is somebody they do want to get the ball more to, and it seems like he has grasped the offense better as the season has gone along. So I don't know if he was running some wrong routes earlier this year, wasn't running them with the precision required, but it seemed like there was a high praise a couple of weeks ago for Matthew that also seemed to indicate, well, maybe earlier in the season he wasn't doing what he needed to do.
But it makes you question the Bo Melton stuff. I mean, just plug Golden in there.
I mean, Golden was in on the play, the dropped here for Bo Melton. But, yeah, I don't get the Bo Melton thing either.
Yeah, that's kind of
and some of the plays he made earlier this year, Chew, Golden was out in those games, which is why he had to be in against the Bears when they played at Lambeau Field.
Bo Melton is just another great example, though, guys, beyond football, of if you're a good dude and you show up to work and you work hard and you treat people well and all of the things we have heard about Bo Melton, man, you're going to get a lot of opportunities, right? And even in a performance-based industry like the Pro Football League, like the NFL, they're going to give you opportunities. They're going to keep you around. It's like Chewy, you're not going to understand. Oh, maybe you will. But I've been reading about the Stranger Things, right? Stranger Things, and how the guy who plays Steve, something Curie, I don't know his first name. You might know.
Joe Curie.
Joe Curie, thank you. How his character was supposed to be killed off in the first season, or whatever his first season. But they liked him so gosh darn much that they wrote him into the rest of the show.
Yeah, I mean,
that feels like a Bo Melton comp.
You hear about that in a lot of TV shows. In Breaking Bad, the character opposite of Bryan Cranston was supposed to die in the first season. Lasted the entire time. Jesse's the only one who actually lived in the end. So
really,
yeah, he was supposed to die
him so much.
Yeah, they just liked the chemistry he had with Walt and. Lasted the entire time.
And see, that's why you tune into Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, folks. If you're wondering out there, if sometimes you're asking yourself, why do I listen to this show? Because we got a Bo Melton, Joe Curie, Stranger Things comp here for you that actually works.
But I feel like
it actually makes sense.
I feel like Steve's more valuable to the Stranger Things crew, though. I wish Bo was a little more valuable. I wish he was closer to Steve.
Could reach Steve's potential.
I do. I really wish that.
We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We have power rankings coming up. Are these the last power rankings, or do they do one more power rankings after Week 18 headed into the postseason? Because by then the field is cut down to the 14 teams.
Yeah, but you can still do a top 10.
They'll still do a top 10. All right, Chewy's favorite segment coming up right after this.
If you feel like you're running on empty, Mentality Health is here to help, and they specifically help in the area of low testosterone. Maybe you're dealing with low testosterone, you don't even know it. You got low energy and motivation, you're tired all the time, got some weight gain, maybe a little bit of muscle loss, especially around the belly. Maybe you feel anxious, moody, and irritable. Those are all signs of low testosterone, and Mentality can help. They focus on free testosterone levels, which a lot of doctors can overlook, and ensures that your treatment is tailored to your body. So if you are dealing with low testosterone, you go in, get a blood panel done, results about a week later. If your testosterone levels are low, you work with Mentality. But again, they ensure your treatment is tailored to your body. It is customized for you. It's not one size fits all. They want to make sure that your testosterone levels are where they need to be. The results? Your energy comes roaring back. Your belly fat burns off. Your muscle strengthens. And you feel like yourself again. You're ready to tackle life once again. So don't let low testosterone hold you back. Be at your best. Not just for you, but for your family as well. Visit mentalityhealth.com/radio, mentalityhealth.com/radio, and find out how to book an appointment today.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We've just got some backups on westbound 94 heading through the stadium interchange. Not too horribly bad, actually coming out of the stadium interchange towards Hawley Road. And then that's pretty much it. Everything else seems to be rolling along fine. No other major incidents that I can see right now, just a few broken down vehicles here and there, and they are all out of traffic. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, increasing clouds, snow later on with a high of 28. Tonight, snow flurries with a low of 22. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
On this show, it's always football season.
So now Jeff Hafley's going to have to get more creative. Everybody will have to bow up and do things. And the main guy is Jordan Love.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
This went from a defensive-led team to now Jordan Love. Put him on your back. You're going to have to get the cape out.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app. This season, the Bucks are going for it all.
A game winner for the Greek Freak.
Go inside the team's pursuit of a championship on Locked In, the new season of the Behind the Bucks podcast, narrated by Bucks legend Marcus Johnson. Hear from the team stars on why they think they can make history. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
I've been to my fair share of green and gold games, and the best way to get there is with Accutrans Group. At Good Karma Brands and ESPN Milwaukee, we use Accutrans Group to get our partners to and from Green Bay, and it's always first class. From stadiums to concerts and tailgates, your game day fun starts the moment you step on board. Sit back, relax, and let their professional chauffeurs handle the traffic while you enjoy the ride. Accutrans Group is Milwaukee's premier ground transportation, available 24/7 with sedans, SUVs, limos, vans, and buses. Book today at AccuTransGroup.com.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org.
With your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, I'm Will Summers. This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Elkhorn senior Kyron Lyle. Lyle powered Elkhorn to a 3-0 week, picking up 2 Southern Lakes Conference wins along with a non-conference victory. She opened the week with 23 points and 8 rebounds in a 62-48 win over Waterford. She followed that with a dominant all-around performance in a 53-23 victory over perennial conference power Union Grove, recording a triple-double with 17 points, 18 rebounds, and 10 assists, while also adding 5 blocks and 4 steals. Elkhorn capped the week with another win over Waukesha West, continuing its strong early season momentum. A 3-sport athlete and a Division I commit to UW Green Bay, Lyle continues to shine at the highest level. Congratulations to Kyron Lyle, your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Can you feel it? It's the thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating 3. Yeah, you know the feeling. And there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration. Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space with dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxe seating, great food, fiery atmosphere, and a monster video wall. Become a legend at Potawatomi Sportsbook. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I'm
right-handed, but like
I'm with Gabe here. Yeah, I feel more confident in my left hand here, just cupping right now, other than my other hand cupping.
Mostly because I also.
I get a lot more work on the right hand.
On 94.5 ESPN. It's Chewy's favorite segment of the week.
Hey, big guy, you catch the game?
It's Power Rankings time on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Did you catch the game last night? Can I say yes to you?
What will the big guy have in store for us today?
See the game last night?
Which game?
Any of them.
Okay, good list. Solid. I don't really have any problems with it.
Really?
Not really. I think it's pretty, pretty good. So, with that, give me 10.
First and foremost, I think the Packers' loss to the Ravens probably drops them out. Weren't they 10 last week?
No, they were out last week, too.
They were 11.
They were 11th last week.
Any guesses?
So I think the loss would keep them out of the top 10.
Keep is the word we are looking for. Keep them out of the top 10.
Any guesses?
If they
13?
were 11 last, 12, I mean...
12.
Yeah, giving a guess here. Okay, number 10. I have the Chargers as number 10.
A.O. Buffalo.
A.O. Brian D is 10. I don't like them at all.
We know.
You never have.
Can they win a Super Bowl? No.
I mean, you want to talk about how wide open the NFC is?
AFC?
The AFC seems even more wide open than the NFC does.
Because you don't believe in the two top teams. That's the only reason.
Wider, if you will.
Do you believe in the two top teams?
I think one of them will emerge as the Super Bowl representative for the AFC.
So,
you?
Pats and Broncos, maybe?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, let's keep it rolling.
9.
I have the Texans at number 9.
I've got the Texans here as well.
The Bears.
Oh.
The Bears.
Okay.
Went from 8 to 9. I guess you got to ding them for a loss, but.
Okay.
I thought they.
I mean, this is just the rip of 11-5 teams here.
Yeah.
I assume the Chargers are outside the top 10.
Correct. They're 11. 8.
Okay, so now I'm going to say the Texans.
Texans are 8. Can the Texans win it all with just defense?
I just asked Gabe during the break. Are the Texans better than the Eagles? He said no.
You don't think so?
I do not think so. Again, every once in a while it happens, but the last time a team won with just defense was a decade ago.
Yeah. Fair. 7.
This is tricky for me because I think the Eagles are better than Jacksonville, but Jacksonville's record is better than the Eagles. They seem to be heavily record-based. I don't think the Rams' loss to the Falcons yesterday dropped them this far. So I'm going to go with the Eagles at number 7.
I think the Rams dropped this far. I'm going Rams.
Philadelphia Freedom. Yeah. Frank Winter's favorite song.
So
Jen, you
the
nailed it.
pickers still think the Rams are better than
All
the
right,
Eagles.
so Houston's and Eagles, would you classify them as teams you do not want to play?
Houston? No. Eagles.
I mean, Houston, you wouldn't play until the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying the Packers. I'm just saying.
just generally
no one wants to
speaking.
play them. You know how we say that?
I don't know if they're the team that nobody wants to play.
I'm telling you, don't sleep on the Eagles. If there's ever been a switch,
that offense
their
is
defense
really
is legit.
struggling, though. Really struggling.
They're going to rush for 1,000 less yards this year, and they've won 2 games where their quarterback hasn't completed a pass in the second half. I feel like you should be able to beat that team if you're a good team.
I'm not going to sleep on them.
I mean, the Bills.
Like the Falcons last year, we're not sleeping on them.
They won last night.
Which sets up a really funny scenario, by the way, in the NFC South, because everybody thought it was going to be the game for the NFC South is Panthers Buccaneers. It's not anymore. If the Panthers lose that game, they still win the division if the Falcons win on Sunday, because then it's a 3-way tie for the division, and the Panthers win the 3-way tie.
That's ugly.
It's bad. It's so bad. I'm hoping for chaos.
6.
Rams.
This is where I put the Rams.
The Evan Cohn run Jacksonville Jaguars are 6.
Huh.
Somebody
What's
needs
the
to let
coach's name?
Evan Cohen know that he's
Liam Cohen
coaching the.
Oh, don't worry. He's on Willie and Tausch. I'm on Willie and Tausch later. I will let him know. I am congratulating him on all of his success in
I mean, Liam and Evan aren't that far off.
Duval.
Both 4 letters in his defense.
Yeah, thank you.
Liam and Evan aren't that far off, actually, to be honest with you, like from a name standpoint. Okay, the Rams, if the Rams are not here, they have to be here.
Yeah, I am surprised they are a top 5 team. They've had some inexplicable losses now.
That's what I'm saying, man.
I can't believe they're 5.
Why? They fell from 2. That's fair. They're
Dropped
5.
outside the top 5.
He's saying that they're overrated. They were overrated at 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. That's just when Stafford plays like crap, they usually lose. When he plays okay or good, they win.
Probably cost himself an MVP last night.
4.
49ers.
Niners are 4. Can the Niners win it all?
Yes, but they could also lose. Again, I'm not trying to be like, overly simplistic here.
It feels like they're going to have to win shootouts, and you can't constantly win shootouts. Again, much like you can't win with just defense, you can't win with just offense.
So far, Gabe today has reminded us that you cannot win just with shootouts, you cannot win just with defense, and you cannot any given Sunday your way through the postseason. which again, one team in the NFC, one team in the NFC, one team in the NFC. Like, this is where things feel more, what's the word for parity? Parodied? No.
Mimicked?
No. What?
Speaking of idiots.
Whoa, hard to the
Sorry,
horse.
Will, I take that back.
It's okay.
Take it back.
See, you were doing so well, Will.
He's constantly had your back. You wonder why the other producers turn on you. It's because they see how you treat Will, the one guy who's got your back.
But Gabe, he intentionally cut off my headset, so I don't know what cocktail attire is. Therefore, can I wear a Carhartt coat as a sports coat?
No. No.
That's all I have, Gabe.
No, it's not.
Tell you what, if you tell us the suit story, you can do whatever the hell you want.
We're gaining traction.
Almost got clearance from Clarence.
Because she's so frustrated by it.
So she wants the world
nice
to know
thing
what
is,
she deals with. I hear her. I hear it.
She's showed probably 30 people the receipt, and the receipt's starting to lose its ink on it, so you can't even tell. So
You should just
I'm in
tell
good
the
shape
story
here.
if she's sharing it all over town.
We're going to get there. We're getting there. We're tipping the fridge over. 3.
I have the Broncos at 3.
I'll say the Pats.
Ooh.
Broncos are 3.
Okay.
You know, someone has to win the Super Bowl, because I'm going to ask a Gabe, if I ask you, can the Broncos win the Super Bowl, you're going to say no.
I mean, I don't trust them. If they're
That's
going,
a no.
I'm going to take the. If they're in the Super Bowl, I'm taking the NFC team.
If the Broncos are the AFC representative,
Correct.
you're taking whoever.
So that
Whoever
would
is in
be
the
a no.
NFC.
All right. 2.
I have Seattle at 2. I have the Patriots at 1.
It's Pat Seahawks.
Gabe is correct. Who's better, the Patriots or Broncos?
I think the Patriots are better. And I'm surprised that you don't think the Patriots are better, because you are out on Sam Darnold and Drake May is a candidate for MVP.
Yeah, but he's also never played a playoff game.
So you
And I
think
don't think
that
you just-
is looming.
I don't think you
idea
get
of-
just to go right to the front of the line. You don't get just to win a Super Bowl in your first.
But could you be
playoff
front of the line
experience.
now, right now, in week 17, headed into week 18?
Maybe, but also, like, the Patriots aren't going to be the number 1 seed. They're going to be that number 2 seed, and they may have to try to survive Buffalo once again.
All right, now rank these 3. Seattle, San Fran, L.A.
It's tricky. Can
That
we wait
order.
until the game this weekend when they play?
No,
I'm going
because
that order.
I'm going Rams. I'm going San Fran, Seattle.
I think that's fair. I think the Rams, again, is Matthew Stafford going to throw 3 picks
Maybe.
No.
again?
Very possible.
Certainly possible. But a veteran like that feels like he'll hone it in.
Come through in a big game like you did last night.
Reel it in. Now that
Experience is-
sarcasm everyone picked up on, unlike Jason
Experience.
Wilde's sarcasm earlier.
Yeah, experience is big when it comes to the playoffs. And you're certainly taking Matthew Stafford over Sam Darnold, right, Gabe?
Yeah, but I mean, the Seahawks, I think, the closer we get to this thing, the more the Rams just continue to puke on themselves.
Yeah.
The Seahawks seem like they're the most complete team right now. I thought it was the Rams, but I don't know if they just missed Devontae that much last night.
Yeah,
So did you have the 49ers last on that list?
I got the 49. I went Seahawks, Niners, Rams. And maybe it's recency bias after watching the Rams yesterday, but
yeah,
them having to go on the road 3 times, like they puked all over themselves last night on the road. They puked all over themselves against the Panthers on the road. I think this team's just very different when they have to play away from Los Angeles, and they're going to have to get some luck in order to get a game in L.A.
Is Puka Nacua healthy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you got Puka and you
almost
got...
made an unbelievable catch last night to put them in field goal range and tie it up.
I think I like the Rams better than the Niners. But again, let's just see how that game shakes out this weekend. Seattle Niners for the first place in the division. Let's see how that shakes out. We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Still a lot of stuff to get to. Hey, keep getting us your top stories, top sports stories of 2025 here in the great state of Wisconsin. We've already talked about your Brewers. We've already talked about the Micah Parsons acquisition. What else you got? let us know. 800-990-3776. You can call in, you can text in, you can hop on the YouTube stream as well. If you're headed to the Milwaukee Bucks game, you can make a bet at the Potawatomi Sportsbook and catch a shuttle to Fiserv Forum. After a purchase or a bet, you'll get a wristband. You take that wristband, you get on the shuttle, no questions asked. Seating is limited on a first-come, first-served basis. It picks up and drops off in the annex right next to the Potawatomi Sportsbook. They begin departing Potawatomi 1 hour and 15 minutes before the game, and they return beginning in the third quarter and run nonstop until 1 hour after the game. It could not be easier. Use the shuttle at the Potawatomi Sportsbook at the annex for games at Fiserv Forum this season.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We are still looking great out on the roads. As a matter of fact, those delays on 94 heading through the stadium have pretty much dissipated. So we're really not seeing any kinds of problems, just a few broken down vehicles here and there, and they are all out of traffic. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, clouds increasing, snow later on with a high of 28. Tonight, snow flurries, a low of 22. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Their first two-man scramble of the season is underway. Play Paynes Valley for a shot at cash prizes. Must play by December 31st. Sign up now at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Why Z-Bart? Because you don't want rust holes in your expensive vehicle. Let Z-Bart keep the rust away with professional rust protection. Only at Z-Bart.
The Packers dropped their third straight game, falling to the Baltimore Ravens at Lambeau Field on Saturday night. Despite 3 touchdowns from Malik Willis, Green Bay's defense couldn't slow down a Ravens rushing attack that piled up 307 yards on the ground. Here's head coach Matt LaFleur after the game.
Humbling night. Give Baltimore a ton of credit. They came in here and were in complete control of the whole game. And unfortunately, it wasn't up to our standard in regards to how we played, how we coached, and that's what happens.
The Packers look to bounce back in their regular season finale on the road in Minnesota against the Vikings.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee.
Do you want your car to shine like a diamond? Then you need Z-Gloss from Z-Bart. Z-Gloss gives you a mirror finish and protects your paint from everything Mother Nature can throw at it with a 10-year guarantee. Visit zbart.com for more information.
When a trophy is raised, it can feel like the season's over, but on the ESPN app, it never really is. Because with more than 47,000 live events, plus originals, highlights, and coverage from every corner of the sports world, there's always something to dive into. No off-season, just everything a fan needs to keep going. Always in season, get all of ESPN all in one place. Download the ESPN app on your TV or phone today.
So the body knows that it needs to heal itself, but it doesn't know how to concentrate it and target it into just one area. So that's where we come in.
By we, Dr. Ashley Caravelli means the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, QC Kinetics.
We put in those treatments, then it sends out like little signalers to your body. We're able to make the body focus on the areas that need the most healing.
QC Kinetics has gathered brilliant medical minds like Dr. Caravelli and Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a pioneer in the field of regenerative medicine, to lead the way in these innovative pain treatments.
So at QC Kinetics, we have a whole team working nationwide with cutting-edge research to reach our patients and treat them and know that surgery is no longer their only option.
The consultation is free. Find out if you're a candidate. Call QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Thanks, Ernie. I'm going to Venmo you that money right after the show.
You can't. You don't know how to use Venmo.
Made my workload much less. But Ernie,
you don't know how to
Ernie,
do it, and I don't know
does
how to
it ever?
it. So
yeah.
On 94.5 ESPN.
If the Wisconsin Badgers were the Titanic, they have already hit the iceberg. But for some reason, Chris McIntosh thinks that they can still get to New York. Like,
Recapping the top stories in Wisconsin sports of 2025. And look, as much as we would like to overlook, as much as we would like to ignore the Wisconsin Badgers, it was El Stinko. They didn't just underperform. It was embarrassing. They were overmatched, mismatched, disjointed, unrecognizable from what Badgers football is supposed to be, has been. And I think a lot of people were scratching their heads because we all were excited when Luke Fickell was named the head coach of the Wisconsin Badgers just a few years ago. But there was no physicality, there was no identity, there was no clarity. And that's why the Badgers football identity crisis in a very new Big Ten, right? Obviously, you got all the additions of all the teams that have popped in. You're seeing Indiana turn things around, number one team in the country right now, playing in the Rose Bowl this weekend against Alabama. And you're wondering, why in the world can a program like Wisconsin not duplicate that success, not replicate that success with a new head coach in Luke Fickell? A lot of questions that have not yet been answered. It was a bad season, and Gabe, we are still recovering and smarting from the 2025 Badgers football season.
Yeah, and they just think more money is going to be able to fix it. I just don't know. So to me, it says a lot about Luke Fickell, but it also says a lot about the program from top down. That I don't know if they just didn't realize that NIL and transfer portal was here to stay, if they just thought that was going to be a fad and somebody, I don't know if the federal government was going to come in and fix it, but they were slow to adapt. You mentioned Indiana. They were not. Yeah, they got some nice money, Chew, from Mark Cuban, but their head coach embraced the role that he took at Indiana, and it doesn't seem like, Luke Fickell has embraced what Wisconsin football is. Didn't have the right resources, just a failure from top down. Didn't have the money, but I don't know I still don't think that he's the right coach because of his failure to recognize the best way to succeed at the University of Wisconsin.
Well, their first mistake was going to the air raid offense that first year. Why would you go away from the homegrown talent, the big boys that Wisconsin produces every year? These kids were going to Penn State, they're going to Minnesota, they're going everyone but here. So then he gets rid of the air raid, and he's behind the eight ball because, these kids figure there's greener pastures, and obviously there are at Indiana. And he's losing a lot of the homegrown talent. And in order to run the air raid, you need 3 receivers that are game breakers from Florida, California, Texas. Well, they're not leaving there now to go to Wisconsin. It's all about money. These kids want money, money, money. And if the alumni aren't going to pony up, I still don't know what McIntosh means by putting more money into the football program, because back in the day, and Jen, you know this, back in the day before NIL, these kids wanted unbelievable locker room, unbelievable weight room, unbelievable indoor facility.
Yeah, amenities, yep.
Yeah, now they don't care. It's just put the money in my pocket, and if you're not willing to do that, you ain't going to win.
So my husband always talks about Dario, who is from Florida and now lives obviously here with me in Wisconsin. He always talks about how when he started out in the television industry, how Florida paid in sunshine. They didn't have to pay as much as other television markets across the country because they knew there was a lure of being in Florida. What do I mean by this as it relates to Wisconsin football? In order to get that top-tier talent, Chew, you're going to have to overpay. You're going to have to overpay to draw those kids out of places they would want to be that would pay the going rate in order to get them and convince them to not only go to Wisconsin where you got to play Big Ten football and it's cold and you got to get used to the elements and all of those things, but also to turn the program around. There's very few guys in this day and age of college football who want to be part of a rebuild. Because why not go somewhere that's already established where they show a trajectory of winning, of playing championship level ball, and join them, right? So it's an uphill battle for the Wisconsin Badgers right now, and that's why you got to throw more money at the problem, because you're going to have to overpay to get that talent to actually come to Wisconsin and be a part of a rebuild.
Yeah, and you've lost a lot of connections to the state. You think of some of the most successful players that have come through this and have gone on to the NFL. It's guys who wanted to be at Wisconsin because that was an ultimate goal. And when you lose those touch points around the state, I'm not saying that there's talent here like there is in Florida and Texas and Ohio and California and all these other places, but there is some pretty good football talent here. And the guys that typically would have gone to Wisconsin because Barry built up the program, was continued by Brett Bielema and Paul Chryst. The guys that would have gone, yeah, Wisconsin, I have pride in playing for my home state school. A lot of those guys don't care because you have lost those connection points. And that's going to make it even more difficult because maybe you wouldn't have to pay as much for those guys. Now you probably got to overpay for some of the guys in your own state who have been leaving to go to places like Indiana, like Michigan, like Penn State.
You have Oregon. You have Washington. I think there's a little arrogance at Wisconsin where they always look down on Iowa. But Iowa always goes to a bowl, and they always are in that 9-10 win season. I think you have to drop down your expectations because you're not, unless there's some massive donor coming in like Indiana and giving them $30 million, you ain't going to be in that 12. I'm sorry. It's not 2014. This is different. I mean, Oregon gets a ton of money. USC gets a ton of money. Michigan, obviously, Ohio State. I think you got to bring down your expectation, and there's nothing wrong with being in Iowa and winning 9 games and going to a decent bowl.
And we all poked fun at the legends and leaders and all of that type of stuff when it was divisions, but that's what the Badgers were feasting on prior to the dissolvement of those. And it is incredible to look at it holistically and see how quickly they cratered, how quickly they are now in the basement of the Big Ten, right? You can poke fun at the Rutgers of the world all you want. You are Rutgers now.
Yes.
And that's wild. Take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Keep getting us your top Wisconsin sports stories of 2025. I got Dale weighing in on the Carbless Talk and Text line. He says, what about the Badgers women's volleyball team and their fantastic season? Absolutely home of the Wisconsin Badgers women's volleyball team here at Good Karma Brands, proving its excellence, wasn't fleeting, deep postseason relevance, packed arenas, national respect, keeping Wisconsin women's volleyball among the state's strongest and the nation's strongest volleyball teams. Cool to see them make a run in the NCAA tournament this year as well. We will take a break. Roll on right after this. Stick around.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN. Stay up to date on the green and gold all season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Did you forget the first day of school is this week and little Nancy still needs her name embroidered on her backpack? Or the company shirts are due now, not next week? Maybe the boss just declared Steve's retirement party is today and the shirts are mandatory? Whatever the rush. Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more in Mequon has got you covered with fast turnarounds, no minimums, eco-friendly printing, and high-quality custom apparel. Big Frog brings your custom ideas to life fast. Stop by Big Frog in Mequon or visit bigfrog.com/Mequon. Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more, where your ideas leap to life.
Discount liquor. There's nothing quite as celebratory as popping open a bottle of bubbly and pouring a crisp glass of champagne. And we do it pretty often on New Year's Eve. But have you ever wondered why? Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. The tradition of toasting champagne dates back to the 17th century when a monk named Dom Perignon perfected the wine bottling process. At the time, bubbly wine caused bottles to explode. Perignon made the bottles thicker and added a cage that prevents the cork from popping. It was an expensive process, so champagne was saved for special occasions, like celebrating a new year. Let Discount Liquor help you with our tremendous selection of over 2,000 varieties of beer, 3,000 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines. And yes, we do stock hundreds of champagnes and bubblies from around the world, suitable for all budgets. Discount Liquor, 2 locations, in Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Main and Barstow. And from our family to yours, have a happy and safe holiday season. Discount Liquor. See all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Game days are here, and your car needs to look as ready as you do. Before you hit the stadium, surf to Tsunami Express Car Wash, the ultimate pre-game stop to roll in clean and confident. Our state-of-the-art tunnels treat, clean, protect, and dry every car to perfection. With 7 Milwaukee area locations, including our newest in New Berlin, we are wherever you need us. Sign up online, and your first wash is absolutely free. That's a $25 value on the house. Claim your free wash today at TsunamiExpress.com. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat.
To help those who want to be helped but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
Football's back, and if you're headed up toward Green Bay, the perfect stop is Higher Love Cannabis Company, just seconds over the border in Menominee, Michigan. Less than an hour from Green Bay. An easy stop before or after the game or anytime you're passing through town. And with so many low-quality, unregulated CBD products floating around Wisconsin, trust matters. Higher Love, award-winning, organically grown, locally owned, and the real deal. Higher Love Cannabis Company, best in the Midwest. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD.
Something exciting is happening at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. On the second floor, you'll find the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, Milwaukee's destination for bold flavors, fresh sushi, seasonal entrees, and cocktails crafted with care. Start your day with a breakfast that fuels you, stop in for dinner that sparks conversation, or linger late into the evening with drinks designed to inspire. With flavors and drinks for every mood, the Studio is the perfect place to gather, celebrate, and connect. Be boldly social. The Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, now on the second floor at St. Kate the Arts Hotel.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
If it's gotten to the
I
point,
don't think shower.
What do you mean? What do you mean you're not going to take a shower? You just told me you're offended by your own BO.
No, but I think it's deodorant, Gabe. Showering does nothing. It really doesn't.
You are wrong.
Because
you must be showering wrong.
On 94.5 ESPN.
I am always on the go during college football season, headed to California tomorrow for the Rose Bowl, and I always trust AccuTrans Group for my private transportation needs. Whether I'm traveling for college football or headed to Lambeau for green and gold action, they make my ride stress-free. At Good Karma Brands and ESPN Milwaukee, we also count on AccuTrans to get our partners to and from Green Bay first class every time. They've got professional drivers, reliable pickups, zero parking hassles, and your game day fun can start the moment you step on board. Book your ride now at AccuTransGroup.com and enjoy the ride just like I do all college football season long. Did we miss anything in our recap of the 2025 sports seasons in Wisconsin, sports stories in Wisconsin? It feels like the Bucks drama probably deserves at least a mention.
I mean, Dame tearing his Achilles. That
Huge
has
story,
now brought
defining
us
story
to where we are. Yeah, if Dame doesn't tear his Achilles, I'm really curious where the Bucks are right now. My guess is they probably trade Dame in the offseason because he very obviously wanted to go back home, be closer to his family. But because he tore his Achilles, they had to go a route that nobody else has ever done before, waiving that type of money and stretching out over the 5 years so they could have a little bit of roster flexibility.
How's Giannis been playing?
He's been great since he's been back. He's played 2 games since he's been back. They've won both games. He's been fantastic.
Okay.
Been on a minutes restriction, obviously, kind of working his way back, but, I mean, he's been really good.
Yeah, the Dame Lillard injury, for its devastation level, has to be one of the defining top Wisconsin sports stories. And to your point, it was the first domino, and you could argue that there were other dominoes before, but the first major domino in where the Bucks are right now, right? Obviously, they underperform in the postseason, in part because Dame is not there. But I would also argue that I don't know that Dame and Giannis ever had an opportunity to, and therefore gelled the way that the front office thought they were going to, really thought that that partnership would be this like 1-2 punch. And so because of that, they're sort of trying to correct that move still going forward. And to be honest with you, with not a lot of options. So they were dealing with the loss, obviously, of Dame. They were dealing with the bounce from the postseason and staring at a reality, which was, where do we go from here? And I think they've done the best job that they can. But as you see from Giannis, he's going to hold their feet to the fire. You know, mediocrity is not good enough. Being mediocre is not good enough for Giannis. And so every opportunity he gets to remind the front office that things need to be better, it feels like that's where we are now. He's going to remind them, like, hey, we have to be better. We have to be a top team. We have to be competing with the top teams. So Dame's injury standing out as one of the more defining stories of 2025, Gabe.
Yeah, and again, it changed the course of a franchise. Because of that injury, they had to do what they had to do to try to, getting Miles Turner. Who knows if that happens if Dame doesn't injure his Achilles, if they're able to open up space to try to sign somebody like that. Because again, if he doesn't, either Dame Lillard's still playing with the Bucks, or my best guess is that they would have tried to trade him. And this team looks dramatically different than what it ended up being, now looks like as they go forward in 2026.
You know, it was another great story, and I watched a little bit of the game, and Gabe, correct me if I'm wrong, UW River Falls?
Yeah.
Where they were like, they were in the national championship game, right?
Yeah, they're in the Stag Bowl.
Where like a couple of years ago, they hardly won any games. Mm-hmm. And now I think they were the most prolific offense.
Yeah, I think they had the highest scoring offense in
Unbelievable
D3.
turnaround. Did they wind up winning that game? I just got ADD kicked in.
I do not know if they won the Stag Bowl. I was not paying attention to the Stag Bowl.
But that was a hell of a story. I read up on that, and yes, I can read.
Well, but you didn't read to the end. Got distracted before you got to the final score.
That's like what Billy Crystal always taught me in Harry Met Sally.
I don't want to bring up a salt in the wound type of thing, but did you see that Illinois State is competing for the FCS National Championship against Montana State Shoe?
Yeah. I blast Coach Daly. Nice choke. That's true. That's a choke.
Okay. And that's relevant because Illinois State did beat your coach's team in the first round, even though coach's team was the number 1 seed. Eesh.
Yeah, but I think it's cold in Nashville next week. So.
Oh, yeah, you were supposed to be in Nashville next week. You're going to book hotels. You're going to book a plane.
Yeah.
Did you guys decide you're not going?
Oh, hell no.
Okay, just making sure. Well, at one point you were like, can we still go?
And we gave you permission to go.
Yeah, it's got to be 60 degrees or higher. That's my new rule, Gabe.
60 degrees or higher?
In January?
Yeah.
So you're not going anyway. By the way, the Stag Bowl is coming up this Sunday.
Oh, so that wasn't. Yeah, because that was weird. They were playing at home. Who's in the Stag Bowl?
UW River Falls is in the Stag Bowl, and they are taking on North Central out of Illinois.
Oh, Naperville.
Okay.
All right, another Wisconsin-Illinois clash. Okay, bragging rights on the line. Maybe they'll
This is the JV
maybe
game.
They'll chant Green Bay sucks at that one, too.
Amos Alonzo Stag.
Oh, good job, Chewy. Did you figure out what cocktail attire is or what?
I think I can wear a Carhartt.
No.
It's a coat.
No.
Gabe.
You buy it at Fleet Farm. You can't wear Carhartt to a cocktail hour.
The most frustrating thing is my son's going to another cocktail party who were very upset because we're not doing ours this year. We're taking a year off. You know what the attire is for that party? Sweatpants. How awesome.
That is awesome.
All over it.
Sorry, pal. I guess you're too fancy.
I'm going to host a sweatpants party.
Isn't that
I just
great?
decided. I mean, once college football ends, of course, because you can't do anything until college football ends. But once college football ends, I'm going to host a sweatpants party. We're going to play card games and have some drinks and call it a day.
I've got a quick theory here. Chewy, I think you know what cocktail attire is. I think your wife told you what it is, but you were coming to us hoping for a different answer so you could go to her and say, well, they told me I could wear this. I think that's what's going on here.
No, I didn't know because I get confused with business casual.
It's
business casual and cocktail?
Well, is business casual a coat or no?
I think it's
or is it just
going
slack?
away from coat.
Collar, though.
Yeah, it has to have a collar.
Collar?
But
see, I'd be all right with that.
Cocktail, you got to have the coat.
I'm anti-coat. But they didn't say what kind of coat. That just says coat.
You have a new coat. You need to get as many wears out of that coat.
No, it's
as
not
possible.
here yet. They're making it as we speak.
I didn't realize you hadn't received it yet.
No,
Good
I haven't
gravy.
gotten it. And that's part of the rub.
Well, looks like you're going back to the old 3 button.
Yeah? No, it's 4, Gabe.
Oh, it's 4? My bad.
Yeah, it's 4.
My apologies. I didn't realize.
Why did you correct him on that? Jeez Louise, take the L. Right? I mean, you could have just
Didn't
left
realize
it.
they made 4.
I didn't either.
Oh, that's why you were getting made fun of.
Yeah.
Here we thought it was a 3-button suit.
You can't borrow one of your
Wearing
kids'
a
coats?
4-button suit.
No, Dyson's tiny. He's not tiny.
What is he,
but
6'4"?
Yeah, like 225.
Yeah, the tiny human being.
Waif.
So soft at 6'4", 225.
Wilde and Tausch is next on ESPN Milwaukee. Have a great day, everybody. Be safe this New Year's Eve. Enjoy the holiday, and we will see you in 2026.
It's looking great. I can't complain at all. There's no delays out there, really no major incidents to worry about. We are seeing one little pocket of heavy traffic, and this is on US 45 in Racine County, basically between 7 Mile Road and 6 Mile